Have you ever looked around and seen someone living the life you've always wanted? An old friend now running his own business. A colleague always traveling, dining at fancy places, posting pictures that scream happiness. Someone out there who seems to have it all: wealth, success, admiration, joy. But if you truly knew them, you'd see something different, something darker. They're not as happy as you think, because most of what we admire is just the surface. Behind the curtain lies chaos, anxiety, and a mind fractured by constant comparison. The ancients said, "He who envies others admits their superiority." When you envy someone, you silently declare, "I am not enough." But maybe the problem isn't that you're less. Maybe you've just been looking in the wrong direction. We live in an age where every door is open, yet no one dares to walk deeply through any of them. You can do anything: crypto, business, design, content, startups. Opportunities are infinite, but focus is not. And that's why an entire generation is scattered across 100 paths, never walking far enough on any single one. As Robert Greene once said, "Life doesn't start from the world, it starts from you." Life doesn't begin out there, it begins within. And that's where everything either starts or falls apart. Part 1. Those who can't focus will be swept away by the world. Let me tell you 3 stories. 1. The story of Jack, the man who chased every wave. Jack was the kind of guy who always had a new project. At 22, he invested in crypto. At 23, he opened a coffee shop. At 24, he jumped into marketing, then switched to e-commerce. Every month, a new plan. Every quarter, a new direction. He ran fast, but he never knew where he was going. One day, I asked him, "Out of all these things, which one excites you the most?" He paused for a moment, then said softly, "I just want to find the one that's easiest to succeed in." That answer was the trap. Because when you choose the easiest path, you also choose the shallowest one. And what is shallow can never feed the soul. A man can change directions 10 times in 10 years, but he'll never go as far as the one who chooses a single path and walks it with conviction. Because depth creates value, not width. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." True ambition isn't about doing many things. It's about doing one thing completely. 2. The story of David, the man who almost made it. David was a young programmer living in California, smart, talented, and building a promising startup. But every time things got hard, he'd change direction. From education apps to health tech to blockchain to AI. Every time the road got rough, he'd tell himself, "Maybe this idea isn't right," and move on to something new, something shiny, something easier to believe in. He didn't realize every great path begins with boredom. Every masterpiece begins in monotony. No one ever succeeds without walking through long seasons of repetition and quiet struggle. Seneca once said, "It is not that life is short, but that we waste much of it." Life isn't short, we just waste it chasing novelty. After years of failure, David finally understood. Focus is a form of sacrifice. When you choose one direction, you must dare to abandon all the others. And only then can you go deep enough to find something truly worth holding on to. 3. The story of the old sake master in Kyoto. I once met an old man in Kyoto, Japan, a sake brewer who had spent 50 years perfecting his craft. He told me that in all those 50 years he focused on one thing only: the temperature of fermentation. He believed that every drop of sake has a soul, and his life's work was to bring fire and water into harmony through stillness. I asked him, "Have you ever wanted to try something new? Maybe create a different kind of sake, or expand your brand?" He smiled. "When I've mastered one thing," he said, "I already possess the whole world." People only want to do many things because they haven't done one thing well. That sentence carried the spirit of true focus. Focus isn't narrow, it's profound. It doesn't confine your world, it takes you to the depths of it. Part 2. The Path Within. 1. Focus isn't force, it's harmony. True focus doesn't come from discipline or a perfect schedule. It comes from love and inner connection. Most people think focus means grinding, pushing, forcing. They use caffeine, motivation, pressure, anything to make themselves work harder. But that's not focus, that's coercion. You can't force yourself to focus on something you don't care about. Sooner or later, exhaustion will destroy it. But when you love something not for money, not for recognition, but because it reflects who you are, you can walk with it for a lifetime without anyone having to push you. Focus is not willpower, it's alignment. Focus isn't about effort, it's about harmony between your mind and your soul. People often ask, "How do I know what's meant for me?" The answer isn't in logic, it's in silence. It's in that quiet space where just thinking about it brings peace, even if you've achieved nothing yet. Seneca called it tranquillitas animi, the stillness of the soul. When you choose the right path, you'll feel it even when it's hard, even when the world calls you crazy. Deep down, something inside you whispers, "This is right." 2. Don't let the world choose your path. The world is loud, always loud. People brag about success. Media glorifies wealth. And you get pulled into a race you never signed up for. But here's the truth, you don't have to run. You just have to stand still and choose the right direction. Because the one who runs fast on the wrong road only gets lost faster. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Stop wandering. You weren't made to chase every glitter. Return to yourself. Stop running. Stop chasing everything that shines. Turn back to yourself." 3. When you focus, the world opens up. Here's the paradox. When you choose to focus on just one thing, you're not limiting yourself, you're setting yourself free. The more deeply you focus on one pursuit, the wider the world becomes. But when you try to hold on to everything, your vision begins to shrink. A musician who masters one piece eventually understands all of music. A blacksmith who forges a single blade comes to understand the soul of metal. A philosopher who wrestles with one question uncovers the nature of mankind itself. Because your energy isn't scattered, it's united. Everything you learn, everything you do, everything you think converges toward one single point. And over time, that point becomes power. The unfocused man lights 100 fires, none bright enough to warm him. But the one who chooses a single flame, that flame can light his way for life. 4. True freedom comes from selection. In the end, the greatest lesson isn't about what to do. It's about what to let go of. Focus is really an act of refusal. Every time you choose one thing, you're saying no to 1,000 others. And it's that courage to refuse that builds real strength. Freedom isn't having endless options. It's the ability to say no to everything that doesn't belong to you. No one can go deep if they keep turning sideways. No one can find themselves if they keep comparing. And no one can live fully if they're always afraid of missing out. That's why the people you envy, the ones who look so happy, so fulfilled, are often just running from themselves. They may own the world, but they've never owned peace. 5. The ending. Only when you stop, you truly move forward. Focus is the art of stopping. Stopping to listen. Stopping to choose. Stopping to return to yourself. The world out there moves fast. Everyone's running, chasing, proving. But the one who stops to understand himself is the one who ultimately goes the farthest. Because, as Marcus Aurelius once said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What blocks your path is the path. When you focus on one thing, whether it's mastering a skill, refining a virtue, or pursuing an ideal, you begin to see something remarkable. Everything that once stood against you slowly becomes a part of you. And that's when you finally understand what the wise have always known. The path within doesn't lead you somewhere else. It simply brings you home. Conclusion: the Stoic lesson. Stoic philosophy never tells you to do less. It tells you to live with order. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be good, first believe that you are evil. If you wish to be whole, first admit your own chaos." And the only way to restore that inner order is to choose one direction and follow it to the end. When you focus on one thing, you're not just working. You're training your soul. You're sharpening your mind, tempering your will, and forging the kind of peace no distraction can steal. One day, when you look back, you'll realize that in a world where everyone was chasing everything, you were one of the few who dared to stop and go deep. Because the truth is simple. The people you envy aren't happier than you. Distraction is just how the world pulls you away from yourself. And deep focus isn't about rejecting the world. It's about mastering it through yourself. In the end, every path is meaningless if it doesn't begin from within. So if you want to rise, don't chase something new every day. Choose one thing and turn it into your art of living. And if this message speaks to you, join this journey with us. Like this video, subscribe, and keep walking the Stoic path toward clarity, discipline, and peace. Before you go, leave a single line in the comments below. I choose focus. Let it be your promise to yourself and to the life you're building from within. Thank you for watching.